This is the Tigers POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
I mean, what a game, what a game. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Are you kidding me? A 1-0 shutout win on a walk-off walk. That's what we've got in store for you tonight as the Tigers win their 8th in their last 10. They've taken the first 2 games of the series against the Houston Astros. And oh yeah, they continue to be so good at home. And it helps when you have Tarik Skubal throwing 7 scoreless. So welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. I am your host, Jake Rietma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Rietma. What a special night, not just because the Tigers walked it off in epic fashion in front of a ruckus crowd at Comerica Park, a playoff atmosphere, but also because we are live on the Locked On MLB channel and the Locked On Sports channel. So shout out to all of our new viewers that might be joining us for the first time. Here's how it works around here. We break it all down and your comments are welcome. Invite you to like Locked On Tigers and the Locked On Tigers postcast, today's video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. We'll talk about Tarik Skubal and how good he was on the mound, the bullpen effort. I'll have my biggest talking point, our turning point, and of course, our player of the game. So buckle up, dial it in, and here we go. It's another edition of the Locked On Tigers postcast, your team each and every day, free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. A lot of people want to talk tonight, and why not? Because that was as entertaining of a 1-0 game as you will see. And the Tigers just played a 1-0 game. They had the 1-0 win over the White Sox less than a week ago as they continue to play a really, really great brand of baseball. I mentioned 8 wins in their last 10 games. Meanwhile, a lot of questions for the Houston Astros. And I know this is not Locked On Astros postcast, but they have now been shut out in 4 of their last 5 games after getting shut out twice by the Orioles over the weekend and shut out in the first 2 games of this series as well. Now, a big reason why, well, you know who it is. It's the defending or reigning Cy Young winner, Tarik Skubal. And as he often is, when he toes the rubber, he is the subject of our biggest talking point.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I mean, it was great to see vintage Tarik Skubal back on the bump. He had struggled his last couple of starts out. And by struggles, I mean, let's keep everything relative here. For Tarik Skubal's standard, he had struggled. I mean, he's still putting forth quality start after quality start. But tonight was vintage Tarik Skubal. I mean, the emotion, the excitement at Comerica Park, the grittiness, the way he's just a bulldog out on the mound. And then, oh yeah, by the way, the numbers not bad either. 7 scoreless, 3 hits, 2 walks, and how about it? 10 strikeouts. Another 10 strikeout game for Tarik Skubal. He threw 95 pitches. That brings his ERA down to 2.32. And oh yeah, the first pitch strikes were there as well. 17 first pitch strikes out of 24 batters that he faced, and he was getting the swing and misses as well. 25 swing and misses tonight. Tarik Skubal, wow, was he good. But what else we're talking about? I mean, my goodness, the game goes to extra innings. Will Vest does a tremendous job in the top half of the 10th inning, and don't get me started about the gimmicky ghost runner on second. I understand it for the regular season, sure. I just don't like it in the 10th inning. If you want to do it in maybe the 12th inning, then we can go ahead and put a runner on second to begin the frame. But that's neither here nor there. That's not what tonight's show is about. But Will Vest, anytime you get your team back in the dugout when your team's the home team and they just have to score 1 run, oh boy, you can just feel it. You can feel the momentum change. And as Jason Benetti put it on the broadcast, 30,000 plus ready to party. And it was a little more difficult than it had to be because Javi Baez is going to Javi Baez and swing at a pitch he has no business swinging at, a pitch that he couldn't hit with a tennis racket, for goodness sakes. That's how far out of the zone it is. He needs one of those go-go gadget long arms. So Javi Baez strikes out, and the at-bat of the night, Gleyber Torres drawing the bases loaded walk. There was nowhere to put him. And the Tigers, without even getting a hit in the 10th inning, are able to scratch across that run for the go-ahead game-winning walk-off walk. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to draw a picture in the win column. You just have to mark that W. And that's exactly what the Tigers get to do after another epic win. And this is back-to-back nights where the atmosphere has just been incredible. We're going to get to the comments in just a second here. I'd love to know if anybody was at Comerica Park, because my goodness, you could just feel it. You could feel the electricity, the energy just exuberating through the television and into my living room. I felt like I was at Comerica. Yes, I did get up and pace a little bit in the bottom half of the 10th inning. It was that exciting of a game. Now, other parts worth pointing out, when runs are at a premium like they were, the play at the plate is got to be brought up, because what a relay to gun down the runner that would have been the go-ahead runner, and obviously the winning run for the Astros, because the Tigers didn't score until the bottom of the 10th. But that relay from Carpenter to Torres, and then the tag applied by Dingler, that's another night. It reminds me of the other night against the Minnesota Twins, where you had the play at the plate that Torkelson threw home to extend the game in the extra frame, and Dingler applied the tag there. Now, this was just a little bit amplified, obviously, given the outfield relay and the ground covered there, but the extra base hit, Carpenter does a great job of fielding it, getting it to Torres, and the throw home on the money and tag applied. Bada boom, bada bang, and the runner is out. So those are the types of winning plays you love to see the Tigers make when they're playing this high level of baseball, a first place caliber level of baseball, albeit the first place in the American League Central. I know it's the Comedy Central, but it is what it is. And the Tigers are back in the driver's seat. Obviously, Cleveland playing against the Arizona Diamondbacks out west, so it's a West Coast start time a little bit later. That game's just underway, so the Tigers will either be at a 9.5 game lead if Cleveland loses, or it will remain an 8.5 game. But Benetti talks about it. Dan Petrie was talking about it tonight. It's just about stacking those wins, because you continue to keep that distance, and the Guardians are running out of time. Now, still a lot of baseball, of course, but let's call it what it is. If you're a Guardian or you're chasing the Detroit Tigers 8.5 games on August 19th, that's quite the deficit. But let's get into those comments. We're cruising right along. We got a lot of people tuning in, which I appreciate. Your comments always welcome. And we begin with Gareth Ridings showing us some positivity. Truly a great way to win. Yeah, the walk-off walk. Now, if I'm an Astros fan, and maybe this was my road trip of the year, I'm going to Comerica Park and I've seen 2 games and my team hasn't scored a run and we've lost on a walk-off walk, that might be a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. Coven is up next. Pizza Boy should be locked up in jail for not extending Skubal after watching him dominate like he does. I knew we'd get one of those comments, because, hey, better somebody else saying it than me. I've said it enough that old Chris Ilitch, if and when, I don't even want to, on a night like tonight where you're feeling jubilant about the Detroit Tigers, I don't even want to think about Tarik Skubal wearing any other uniform. Although, given the fact that that timetable is also dwindling, it's tough to think about that. Sean Gray is up next. Wow, that was intense the whole game. Tigers should have scored way before extra innings, but got the big win. Indeed, they absolutely should. They had their chances. That being said, I mentioned it on the broadcast last night. Hunter Brown, the ace of the Houston Astros staff, was really, really good tonight. I mean, 6 scoreless for him, the Wayne State product. And I'll say it again, because it's, pat myself on the back, shameless plug, but I broadcasted one of his games when he was in college. And for him to amount to an MLB ace is just an awesome story. And obviously, being a Detroit kid and a local kid, you root for him, just not on nights like tonight. Demetrius McNeil is up next. Wow, 2 games, 2 wins, 2 shutouts. Hey, DJ, play the song, and good night, everyone. Tigers won again. There you go. Luke is up next. Let's go, Tigers. What a game, and what a way to crush the Astros spirits. Indeed, they are in a whole different race in the American League West. I did not see what Seattle did, but the Astros entered tonight with a 1.5 game lead. Seattle had been gaining on them, but somehow hit a little bit of a rough patch. The Mariners did after being scorching hot immediately following the trade deadline. But that's baseball for you. Adam Colm is up next. My main man, Tarik, needed a bounce back start, and he got it. Bullpen shuts it down like usual, and Gleyber, the only guy doing anything offensively. You love to see it. That's right. Kyle Finnegan deserves a lot of credit as well, and that continues to look like a really solid addition at the trade deadline for the Detroit Tigers. Chris Paddock, not so much. Charlie Morton, I guess we'll see. But wow, Kyle Finnegan has been really, really good. And we'll see about Montero. Roadhouse, I may have to pray to the baseball gods to stop whacking us with the line out double plays. LOL. Yeah, we have had a couple of those. There's no doubt about it. All right. Travis Wayne with the walk off. That is, yeah, it was absolutely a walk off. And for Torres, he deserves a lot of love as well. I mean, that's an off-season acquisition that since putting on a Tigers uniform has been nothing but value add for this Detroit Tigers team. So Scott Harris, Chris Ilitch deserve a lot of credit for bringing in Gleyber Torres because, man, has he hit the ground running for the Detroit Tigers and been absolutely excellent. I like this comment from Ben. We're thinking outside the box here. He says, I'm going to be honest, Will Vest needs to be the player of the game. I loved his energy when he came on the mound in the 9th and 10th. Watching him, I felt like everyone knew we were the better team. Yeah, I love the emotion that Will Vest pitches with. And I could talk for hours on end about how much I love the passion that he plays with. And Skubal as well. I mean, those are two fiery guys. And I think that really embodies what this Detroit Tigers team is all about. But we got to keep the lights on here on the Locked On Tigers postcast. Don't go anywhere. When I come back, we'll have our biggest turning point and our player of the game. Maybe the player of the game. We're getting some votes in for Will Vest. Let me know who you think will be the player of the game in the comments. And we'll be right back on live Locked On Tigers postcast. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day. It's a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and season hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, maybe you're eyeing a long shot division winner, or you're just ready to crown your Super Bowl champion before week 1 even kicks off, well, guess what? This is your moment, and FanDuel is the place for you. So take a flyer on the MVP race. I've been telling you for weeks, maybe take a flyer on Jared Goff. He's got so many weapons around him. He puts the ball on the money. Jared Goff. That's it. That's my guy right there. Maybe you just want to parlay your division winner, dark horse. Either way, you got to visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. August 26th, officially FanDuel Futures Day. FanDuel, play your game. Today's episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks. The most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports is on Prize Picks. It's the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is already heating up, and college football isn't far behind. So whether you've got your eye on big-name quarterbacks or breakout running backs, Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in the game. Oh, yeah, David Montgomery as well. I love using Prize Picks. It's super easy to stack your lineup. They've got the forgiveness with the flex play. The flex play, total game changer. Even when one of your picks misses, you can still double your money. And oh, yeah, by the way, it's real simple. More or less, that's all we're talking here. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use that code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, run your game. Tigers top the Houston Astros 1-0. It's back-to-back shutouts over the Houston Astros, and Detroit has won 8 of their last 10, and all of a sudden, it's back to those glorious, exciting, momentous The vibes are high. Everything else you can say about this Detroit Tigers team. I mentioned it in the open, worth repeating. Shout out and hello to all of us joining us on the Locked On MLB cast or the Locked On Sports cast. Welcome to the Locked On Tigers postcast. Glad to have you along. Let's get into our biggest turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Listen, for me, the turning point really was Will Vest in the 9th and 10th inning. Because I know, listen, the body of work Skubal put forth, absolutely. The play made from Carpenter to Torres to Dingler on the relay, yes, that can be chalked up as a turning point as well. But the Detroit Tigers do not win this game without Will Vest and without the impactful pitching in a high leverage situation to go scoreless 9th, great, but to also follow that up with a scoreless 10th with a ghost runner starting on second base and nobody out, getting the strikeout, getting a couple of weak ground outs, that's Will Vest. And that's the value of high leverage bullpen pitching, which when this Tigers team gets that, and I know it's been top heavy throughout the portion of the second half of the season, and it's really only been a couple of guys that you can say you can really hang your hat on have been good in high leverage situations. But a night like tonight, there's nobody in the MLB that can beat the Detroit Tigers with Skubal going 7, Finnegan going the 8th, and then you got Will Vest in the 9th. It didn't have to go to the 10th had the Tigers offense done anything, but that 7 innings from Skubal, 1 from Finnegan, and Will Vest in the 9th, that's as lethal as it gets as far as a 3-punch combo for your pitching staff. How about our player of the game?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
A lot of people want to get in on the player of the game. A couple for Gleyber Torres, of course, Tarik Skubal, and oh yeah, there's some for Will Vest as well. It makes my job hard. It makes all of our jobs hard. So listen, I'm not here to upset anybody on an epic night like tonight where the Tigers win 1-0 over the Houston Astros. So why not we go with a what would that be? A trifecta. Yes. Let's work on that, Reetma. A trifecta for players of the game tonight. Skubal with 7 scoreless, striking out 10. Will Vest with a scoreless 9th and 10th. And oh yeah, by the way, the lone RBI, the lone run batted in, Gleyber Torres, in a patient walk-off walk to give the Tigers the 1-0 lead. That's it, and that's all, my friends. The Detroit Tigers go for the series sweep tomorrow. Looking forward to that one, and it's a day game, so we've got a little day baseball. Make sure you join us for a live Locked On Tigers postcast following the conclusion of tomorrow afternoon's game. 1:10 start. Framber Valdez goes for the Houston Astros. He's 11-6 on the season. Charlie Morton will go for the Detroit Tigers. He's 8-10 with an ERA north of 5, but trying to build off that last start where he was really, really good. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, and I appreciate everybody's comments and the engagement, because that's what makes shows like tonight fun with a live audience. You get an epic Tigers walk-off win. You get Tarik Skubal doing Tarik Skubal things, Will Vest, Kyle Finnegan, Gleyber Torres, and it's a lot of fun on a Tuesday night in the Motor City. So enjoy tomorrow, little day baseball. Like I said, look, it's always fun for a little day baseball on getaway day. The Tigers will have an off day on Thursday. So our next Locked On Tigers postcast, of course, will be tomorrow afternoon, and then the off day on Thursday. But good news, if you're looking for some content on Thursday, that's the day of the Locked On Lions NFL squad show. So myself, Bradford Banta, and Natalie Kerwin will be on Locked On Lions on Thursday. You can check us out there. Make sure you check out Locked On Tigers with Scott Bentley. Can't wait to hear his thoughts on the Daily Show after this epic win. And oh yeah, check out all the Locked On shows, and of course all the Locked On Detroit shows. Locked On Red Wings. You got Sergei Fedorov's number being retired today. That's awesome. Or the announcement of the jersey retirement today, long overdue. You've got Locked On Pistons, the excitement there as well, and of course Locked On Lions. So have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on a live Locked On Tigers postcast.